Do you believe me now? After sitting here watching these people celebrate this man's death, do you finally believe me that these people will kill you if they get power again? Do you finally believe me that they want you dead? These are the disgusting, immoral, weak, cowardly, ineffective, soy milk pieces of shit that have no capacity for safety on themselves or taking care of themselves. They're not equipped for violence. And because we continue to tolerate behavior that is unacceptable to us as a society, this is what happens. All of the silence, all of the times that you've tolerated, all of these things that you knew were wrong because you were convinced that tolerance is some sort of virtue. You were convinced that your own moral feelings of right and wrong were hate and bigotry. And even though you knew in your heart that all of this shit for the last decade was wrong, you kept your mouth shut to keep the peace. And there's been people out here telling you that it's important to speak up. It's important to stand up. It's important to use your voice. And because the majority of Americans who believed that this shit going on in the world for the last 10, 20 years was wrong and stayed silent about it, that is what caused this assassination. So let's be real, okay? There's way more of us than there are of them. And we've been convinced to give them tolerance and give them space. But the reality is they have no intention of giving us any tolerance or space back. And when you give tolerance to the wrong people, it's not noble. It's suicide. Just because you wouldn't do bad things to people doesn't mean other people won't do bad things to you. And we've had it too good for too long in this country. That's the truth. All right? Civilizations don't crumble because of strong enemies. They crumble because of weak citizens. They crumble because people are afraid to speak the truth. They crumble because people assign tolerance where it doesn't belong to appear noble. When you know that something's wrong and you tolerate it anyway, that's not nobility, that's cowardice. And our collective cowardice as people who know right and wrong is what causes this shit. And if you don't think that this wasn't an attack on free speech, you're insane. They're trying to tell every single person that if you speak out, we'll kill you. Charlie Kirk wasn't the most aggressive person. He was actually the only person that was willing to have open dialogue with the other side, and they killed him for it. They're not going to like what comes next. Because I'm going to tell you, bro, I'm done. I'm done tolerating any of this crazy shit. I'm done tolerating making any excuses or having any kind of empathy for these crazy. This is good versus evil, and we've known it for a long time. Our leaders know it, you know it, we all know it, and we've all stayed silent, and we've all tried to be good people, and we've all let the psychological warfare convince us that, you know, a little bit, that maybe we could be a little more tolerant, but the problem is they're not tolerant of us. And if you're that naive and that stupid to continue to give out tolerance to people because you have been convinced to feel bad or feel guilty, those people will kill you. And you don't understand. I've been saying this for years. I've caught so much heat for saying this over and over and over again. Do you think that these people can be reasoned with now? When you see them laugh their asses off about a man, and by the way, Charlie Kirk is not my cup of tea, bro. He never has been. He's far less aggressive than what I thought needed to be done. Okay? In my opinion, he watered down the aggressiveness and the level of urgency that needed to happen. But I admire the way that he did it. He led with Jesus. He led with God. He did not apologize for that. He allowed people to have a say back, which is more than what I would allow.
Oh, for sure, bro.
So I have to commend and respect him for that.
Yeah.
Okay? But here's the thing. You guys that listen to this show, and your friends and your family and everybody who's reasonable needs to stand the f*** up and get loud. Because your silence and you're saying, oh, well, I don't have a platform. Oh, I don't want to confront my crazy aunt who thinks this and this and this. That's the shit that allows this to happen. And now we're in a shitstorm because we have millions of people out here who believe that this was a great thing. And the reason they believe it was a great thing is because we've tolerated this insane shit for the last 10 years. This is not a few crazy people. This is a communist ideology that is repeating itself almost 80 years from the last time that it happened. And if you would have read the books that I've asked you to read, like The Fourth Turning or Rules for Radicals, you would be able to clearly see what was going on. But no, that's too much effort. No, it's too much effort to speak up and stand up. Man, I might get fired. Well, bro, you let them take control, they're gonna put your family in a camp. They called the president candidate for the Democratic Party, stood in front of the country for a week before the election, calling everybody that wasn't going to vote for her a Nazi. We've had years and years and years of these Democrats calling for violence and celebrating violence and saying they're thinking about blowing up the White House and all this shit, bro. And what do? They blame it on the conservatives every time. There's not a single one of these instances that hasn't been perpetrated by one of these communist leftists. And we sit here and allow them to shame us into silence, allow them to pretend that they have the moral high ground over us, to tell us that we're wrong for pointing out the obvious. Things like a man is a man and a woman as a woman, and we shouldn't be teaching our kids how dicks are sucked when they're 2 and 3 years old, or allowing our kids to become opposite sex when they're 5, or letting teachers groom children. All of this shit contributes to this. And because people are too weak to stand up and say, no, this is what we get. And bro, I'm pissed off. Never, ever, ever should ever anyone tolerate this crazy shit in front of their face ever again. These weak little pussy who never got their ass beat and got told they were special, they think they are immune. And they think they have a right and a justified right to commit violence and disrupt society. They don't. And it happens because you allow it to happen. Now do you believe me? You think you can reason with these people? When they're celebrating a father's death, his brain's coming out the side of his neck? You think you can convince those people to be decent? If you do, you deserve what the you get. That's insane shit. That's like walking into a lion's cage with stakes stuck all over you and thinking it's a good idea.
She's gonna give you a hug.
You're an idiot. There are evil people out here in the world, and it's time that everybody that is of common sense unite together against it. We are being played against each other all day long. Black, white, gay, straight, left, right, this, that. This is us versus them, bro. and us as the common sense people in America who want to do good, be good, contribute, be cool, live their lives, make some money, and do the right thing, raise a family, pay their taxes, do the shit. And all these crazy are on the other side. And by the way, so are the elite government. It is us versus them. And until all of us figure that the out, we're going to continue to lose. We're going to continue to get our asses beat. You're going to continue to see things like this happen over and over and over again. God, it pisses me off, dude. When they say they don't want political violence, that's exactly what they want. Then you have people in Congress today, legitimately, saying, every single time this happens, it's right-wing violence. Where the is the right-wing violence? You don't even know right-wing violence, bro. It hasn't even started yet. Until we stop tolerating this shit, this crime, this fake racism,
the degeneracy, degeneracy.
Yeah, all of it.
Yeah.
Nothing's gonna change. You're not virtuous by tolerating. You're cowardly. Let's get that straight. You are not virtuous by tolerating it because your aunt or your cousin or your somebody else shames you into it. That makes you a bitch, bro. And the problem that we have in this country is that we got a bunch of bitch-assness. You let these because you don't want to cause a scene. I understand that, bro. I want to live and let live too. But live and let live only works when both parties consent to it. When you live and let live and the other people don't want to let you live, you're a idiot. And that's what's been going on for 20 years in this country. So all you that are like, when it comes to my door, bro, you're the problem. All you got to do is use your voice. We'll drown these out. There's thousands to one of us to them. And people, we can't say this. They won't let us say that.
Yeah, it's weird because they can say whatever the
motherfucker, you can say whatever you want. You're being a bitch. I don't have a big platform. You don't need one. In fact, if you told the truth, you might have one. God. We allowed this to happen. And then you got this dude who's got 2 kids, a wife, who is by all means a great guy. Everybody that knows him says that. And he's gone. I hope this is I hope this is the turning point. I hope people wake up and realize that these people are not worthy of your tolerance. They are not worthy of your tolerance at all. At all. They will push you in front of a subway and then laugh and put it on TikTok.
And celebrate it. I think that's the thing. Like, I've been battling this. Like, I've been talking to a few friends of mine that, people want to take the Christian high road, man.
That's what got us here.
And the problem that I have, I'm Christian, but the problem that I have with that, man, is like, no, at least, and I haven't found it, right? Like, I've read the Bible.
Sometimes good men got to do bad things for the greater good.
I have not read.
It's biblical. It's in the Bible,
dude. I have not read anywhere in the Bible where it says that it is noble or okay to turn your back against evil like that.
It actually says that we're supposed to destroy evil.
And like,
people pick and choose what they want to say.
It's tough, man.
No, it's not tough. It's real simple. It's real simple. People who hurt other people deserve to die. It's real simple. Your job as a Christian man is to stand the up against evil.
Against evil.
Your job as even a man is to stand up against evil. Oh, I don't want Daniel Penny. Yeah, we all understand. But if we all did it, they wouldn't be able to single out one person. Well, dude, it's just cowardice shit, bro. I can't stand it. And then seeing that dude's neck explode just set me over the edge, bro. I'm done. I'm not tolerating this shit one bit. The good people of this country need to unite. The good people.
Yeah.
Black, white, gay, straight, left, right, whatever the you think you are. If you're a good person and you don't like the way this shit's happening, everybody needs to come together. And we need to hold them accountable that create this situation, which is these elite at the top of the food chain in this government. If Trump had any balls at all, he'd already have these on the front lawn in a wood chipper. You think they don't know who the did this already? These know everything. And here's what's going to happen, by the way, Trump. If you don't take care of these in a very obvious, violent way to make a statement, which, by the way, has been the way of mankind for a million years or whatever, 12,000 years of recorded history. Yeah. If you don't make an example of bad people do not fear repercussions. And we are in a scenario now where the government, and that is Trump, that's Biden, that's all of them, have allowed crime to run rampant to the point where we are going to start seeing vigilante things happen. And when vigilante things start happening, society crumbles, and then we devolve into a third world country. We don't deserve this. Those people doing these crimes, they don't do the things that we do. They don't work. They don't contribute. They don't pay tax. They sit around in their mom's basement wearing their mom's underwear, putting lipstick on, not knowing who the they are because of the policies of these leftists that started 20 years ago. That's the point. The point was to create a generation of people like this who have no idea how to work, how to survive, how to operate in a real environment. I've been saying this for over a decade. When you give kids 18th place trophies and you tell them they're special and you tell them they're going to win no matter what, and you tell them that they could be anything they want, they could be a cat, and you tell them all this shit and they get out in the real world, they're going to go crazy. And that's what we're seeing. The only people cheering for this are these whack job nobodies on the far left who literally can think it's Halloween every day of their life. For real. Okay? And it is time to stop tolerating any of it. They do not tolerate reasonable humans. They do not tolerate people who have their own lives together. They do not deserve our tolerance or our allowing them to operate in our civil society. We are the majority. They are the minority. The tail has been wagging the dog, and it is time to stop. I'm done, dude. You guys act surprised this happened, but you didn't say shit for the last 15 years about what was going on. Where do you, what do you do, bro?
Where did you think this was going to go to?
Somebody douses your house in gasoline and walks 200 yards down the road with a trail of gasoline. And then they stand there with the match. And you're like, oh, well, I guess that's his right to do in America. He can do what he wants. He's not hurting anybody. So then he lights it and you look at it and you're like, oh, he's still not hurting anybody. He's still not hurting anybody. And then the shit gets to your house and burns it down. And you're like, holy shit. The man. Dude, whatever, man. You want to let this country crumble? You want to get put in isolation camps and genocided like has happened every single time the Bolsheviks and the communists have made their progress into power, which is what they're trying to do? Then keep quiet. We'll see what happens. Dude, there's been a number of people trying to point this out for years, and people will not stand the up. I come on here every day. You come on here every day in front of millions of people and say this shit. And people won't say a goddamn thing to their neighbor. Can't stand it, dude. Dude shouldn't be dead.